Number 1, developing an awareness of your power to change.
Our success is dependent on what's going on inside of our minds. And our paradigm is ultimately what's controlling it all. The paradigm is simply just a bunch of fixed ideas in the subconscious mind. And these ideas fixed in the subconscious mind are simply just known as habits. And here's something that Bob said that really stuck out to me. Our thoughts are so important because we become ourselves by the way we choose our thoughts. Damn. Also, there was a point about developing your awareness, not just your intellect. And he talks about how your attitude is everything. Your attitude being a composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions.
2, are you living in someone else's paradigm?
Since paradigms are built with ideas, we essentially start with one built by other people. Being influenced from family members, the religious views you grew up around, the culture at the time, the town or city you grew up in, etc. And your paradigm is ultimately the picture that controls your behavior. He also gave this great quote by Andrew Carnegie: any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. That's one worth remembering. He brings up where, as a kid growing up, he learned about the price of sin is death. He didn't quite understand that, nor do a lot of us, I think. And what he essentially is talking about is a basic law of life where you're either creating or you're disintegrating. And so through sin, that's when you start going backwards instead of ahead in life.
Number 3, developing the confidence to change your success paradigm.
One of the points he made is that self-conscious is the first step in anything worthwhile. And confidence only comes from knowledge. And there's 2 main steps. 1, you've got to know where you're at. And 2, you've got to know where you are going. Just remember, the body is an instrument of the mind. Moving ahead means changing your paradigm. The results are nothing but the manifestations of actions, and your actions are caused by your paradigm. And if your mind starts feeding you negative thoughts about other people and what they might say or do, here's something that stuck out to me. If you knew how little other people are thinking, you wouldn't be concerned with what others are thinking. Damn.
Number 4, setting your control system to achieve your desired results.
Cybernetics is like the thermostat. It is a triggering system that turns on a programmed behavior, and your paradigm is your program. Then the rest of the chapter is mostly about doubt and worry. And, from personal experience, I could definitely kind of agree, but it definitely seems to be the main headwind and obstacles you face once you start changing your paradigm. And at the root of it, he talks about ignorance being the root cause of the doubt and worry.
5, how your beliefs affect your paradigm.
Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And he talks about the brilliant philosopher William James, who said, believe and your belief will create the fact. Then he talks about how unfortunately most of our beliefs in the light of truth would disappear, most having no foundation at all. Most of our beliefs were also inherited.
6, your paradigm for power performance.
By constantly studying, he said it helps him keep his attitude in check. Then he talks about the 3 things you must do when going after a goal. First is the decision, 2nd is understanding and visualization, and then 3rd is the discipline. Take responsibility on how you feel and act. Energy is flowing through us, and it's up to us to direct it in the way that we want. Now, this is something I actually wrote down as a quote to look at and read every single day. It's that here's a 3-step approach. Look at it and say, it is what it is. No matter what happens, you're going to control it or it's going to control you. Step 2, harvest the good. There's good in everything. God is good all the time. The more you look at it, the more you will find. Step 3, forgive all the rest.
7, the lessons of gratitude.
He talks about how gratitude is what actually gets you through your mental problems because it moves your frequency to a higher level. And he talks about respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. This was another gem he dropped. Freedom comes from understanding ourselves and our relationship with God. The lack of understanding creates a prison for ourselves.
Number 8. The 6 areas of life most influenced by your paradigm.
First, perception, how we see things. 2, productivity, our urgency towards anything and everything. Creativity, effectiveness, your logic, and your ability to earn money. And it's generally from the side of capping yourself or putting boundaries or limits on your ability on what you think you can do.
Last but not least, number 9, choosing to make your positive paradigm a habit for life.
There are 2 habitual paths that we can take, either a positive one or a negative one. The negative path is led by ignorance. The positive one is led by knowledge. But the knowledge must be organized and then directed. And here are the principles that he went over in the chapter. First, develop an awareness for your infinite potential. 2, acting on what we want. 3, make a decision, not a preference. 4, a total commitment. 5, accountability. 6, focus. 7, discipline. And 8, something they call visioneering, which is exercising the imagination through the achievement you're going for.